The Arizona Cardinals had such a good training camp this year. It's very unfortunate that yesterday we ended up leaving that training camp with a very bad injury. We're also going to dive into, did the Arizona Cardinals make a mistake and not sign one of their own this last offseason? Byron Murphy is starting to turn some heads in Vikings camp. We're going to dive into all those storylines, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back into another video. Definitely do me a huge favor, smack the like button on this video and subscribe for more Arizona Cardinals content. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate everybody who likes the videos, watches the videos, shares the videos out. Thank you so very much. We've been seeing a crazy amount of growth on this channel. It's probably just because people are very excited about football, and I am too. So ladies and gentlemen, subscribe it up. Also follow me on all my social platforms if you want to basically get up to date on everything Cardinal news, right? Currently, right now, we have training camp, and we had such a good training camp in terms of injuries, and unfortunately, we ended up getting a big blow yesterday that we'll be diving into here pretty soon. I want to go ahead and talk about two kind of storylines, one of them being Byron Murphy, that the Arizona Cardinals make a mistake, and the big injury that we ended up enduring yesterday's training camp. Now, I did hear about it yesterday. I just didn't post a video about it, and the biggest reason why is because I wanted to kind of hear a little bit more about what JG has to say in terms of what is the severity of this injury. Now, we're going to be diving into that here pretty soon, but let's first talk about Byron Murphy and what exactly has happened and what's transpired in the Vikings training camp. There was a video released here in the Twitter world with Byron Murphy, and unfortunately, it doesn't look good for the Arizona Cardinals. There is a video here clip, which I'll be showing you guys right here, him pretty much locking down, which seeming to be one of the best young wide receivers, up-and-coming wide receivers that plays for the Minnesota Vikings, and that is none other than Justin Jefferson, and he's locking him up, right? And I think there's a lot of Cardinal fans out there that are kind of concerned with this whole situation where we're finding ourselves right now as Cardinal fans looking at our depth chart. We don't seem to have a very solid cornerback core, and I'm kind of one of those fans out there as well, which I really wanted the Arizona Cardinals to address corner for quite some time, right? The last superstar we had there was Patrick Peterson. Obviously, he ended up getting older, right, as everybody does, and kind of started to decline. Now, he found himself over in the Minnesota Vikings as well. Now, I know he is in a different team now, but Byron Murphy now found himself in the Minnesota Vikings, and there was some kind of comments that he's mentioned about the Arizona Cardinals, which I won't really kind of dive into. I did make a video about it, so definitely if you want to, you're gonna have to search really deep into it. But Byron Murphy didn't want to be an Arizona Cardinal. That's kind of what it all kind of came down to, and it was very obvious that he didn't want to be an Arizona Cardinal. Now, there was some kind of inside information that I was given about Byron Murphy, and it seemed to have led to the simple fact that Byron Murphy was not going to sign back with the Arizona Cardinals unless he was going to get paid, and I mean paid. Now, the Minnesota Vikings did, I wouldn't say like paid him magnificent numbers, but he got the bag, right? He got some good money. I think originally when it was reported, they were saying out there that Byron Murphy got a 2-year deal up to $22 million, but I think they kind of came back and it said it was a 2-year deal up to $17 million, but you know, it might be 22 worth with all the pro rates and the incentives that is very heavily incentivized within his contract. Now, as of right now in 2023, the Minnesota Vikings have a cap hit of about $2.8 million for his 2023 season, and then 2024, they got a cap hit of about $10.2 million. So it's not very expensive in terms of what he actually signed up for when you're thinking of a very good cornerback. Now, I think the biggest downfall with Byron Murphy with the Arizona Cardinals is that I think a lot of fans truly believe he didn't want to be here, and he unfortunately went through some injuries with the Arizona Cardinals, so people kind of looked at him and said he's injury prone and we don't want him back, right? We're not going to pay him that much, which honestly, looking at the cornerback position that we have right now with, you know, Marco Wilson, we got some young talent that we ended up drafting, which I'm hoping and trying to be optimistic that they're going to be developed into the, you know, the guys that we want them to be, as well as Antonio Hamilton. It doesn't seem that we have the depth or the the great talent that we can shut down great wide receivers, right? Now, as of right now, TBD, I think we're all kind of waiting for the next jump of Marco Wilson. That would be absolutely ideal and great if he does. But Byron Murphy going into the Minnesota Vikings training camp, there's a lot of people out there saying that he is turning heads. He's locking down Justin Jefferson when he can. I think there's a lot of Arizona Cardinal fans out there that are now starting to finally realize and maybe regretting not signing back Byron Murphy. And now let's go ahead and dive into some Arizona Cardinal news. Now, the Cardinals have had a very good training camp in terms of some big flashes from our young rookies, and we've been skating by pretty good in terms of having a injury-free training camp, except for yesterday. Unfortunately, news came down that newly acquired running back Marlon Mack unfortunately ended up having to get help off the field. Now, I think the way that people painted the picture was that he was trying to catch a ball from Colt McCoy. I'm not sure if his legs got under him, not sure if he slipped, not sure exactly how it worked out, but he wasn't able to get off the field in his own power, unfortunately. And as of right now, we don't really know exactly what the severity of Marlon Mack is going to be and what this injury is. Now, some people said it's a leg injury. Some people said it's an ankle injury. We don't really know. Now, one of the biggest reasons why I didn't post a video about this yesterday, when I heard about this yesterday, was I was really trying to wait to see what JG was going to say, our head coach. Now, I get it. There is some time that needs to be worked out with all these injuries. They need to do MRIs, they need to do tests, they need to do all these things before he actually announces it. Now, as of right now, we're almost hitting 12 noon while recording this video, and we still haven't heard anything about Marlon Mack and what updates we kind of want to hear as Arizona Cardinal fans, because he was said to be the second running back behind James Conner, and if he is said to be out for an extensive amount of time, this would be a huge blow for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, yes, we do got some young talent behind him, you know, your Keontae Ingram, but I don't know, there was something about Marlon Mack and James Conner just kind of got me excited, especially about this run game, and if indeed we were going to be running the ball a lot, I would love to have the talented guy like Marlon Mack behind James Conner. Now, please keep in mind, yes, there is still some running backs out there that are still available to get picked up and signed to a specific team, but I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to wait to see exactly how extensive this injury is. Now, I want to go out there and say this right now. This is very, very unfortunate for Marlon Mack. This was a guy that had a very good career with the Indianapolis Colts and did such a good job over there, right? Until the years kind of got ahead of him and then injuries started to happen. I think he got multiple leg injuries. I believe there was also like an Achilles tear. There was a really bad injury that kind of held him out through a good majority of his career. He ended up finally getting an opportunity last year with multiple teams. Didn't really work out. Got an opportunity this year, and now we're kind of finding our way back to another injury for Marlon Mack, and it's just very, very unfortunate. Definitely prayers up for him. I really hope he can get a speedy recovery, especially if it's going to be one of those things where, you know, an unfortunate news that us Cardinal fans, we don't want to hear. Now, as of right now, we're not going to dive into, you know, who can replace him. We need to find out first if he is going to be gone an extensive amount of time. If it's just preseason and he's coming back regular season, I think that would be the best case scenario. But I've never seen a guy get helped off the field and it's not a big deal, right? I think this is going to be one of those things where JG will allow us a little bit in and kind of let us know exactly what's going on, but right now we're just kind of waiting to figure out what the severity of this injury is. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to be making a video about it, but if you do want to be kept up to date, definitely follow me on all my social platforms. Everything will be in the description below or in the community tab of YouTube as well. I will be posting that as well. Give you guys an update to figure out what exactly is wrong with Marlon Mack, our newly acquired running back, and I'll keep you guys in the loop as much as I possibly can. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this whole situation, Marlon Mack as well as Byron Murphy. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys for tuning in as always. Have a great rest of your day and go Cards.